Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something you probably do every day without a second thought, taking off your shoes. But what if that simple act is, well, way deeper and more powerful than you think? It all kind of circles back to this one question. Did Jesus walk barefoot? It's a question that really pulls together faith, history, and even modern health. And believe me, the answer is so much more fascinating than a simple yes or no. So to really get to the bottom of this, we're going to cover a lot of ground, no pun intended. We'll look at this as an ancient practice, explore the deep connection between faith and footwear, dive into the modern science of what's called grounding, see what it actually does to your body, and then how you can reconnect today. All right, so let's jump in. First off, this whole idea of going barefoot, it is not some new wellness trend. Not at all. For literally thousands of years, it's been seen as this powerful discipline for building up not just your physical strength, but your inner wisdom too. I mean, just look through history. You've got guys like Socrates in ancient Greece walking around Athens barefoot because he believed it kept him healthy. Then you have Spartan and Roman warriors, some of the toughest people in history, training barefoot to harden their feet and get a real edge in battle. Fast forward, and you have a priest in the 1800s, Sebastian Knep, who literally used barefoot walks on wet grass to help cure himself of tuberculosis. And of course, there's Gandhi, whose famous Salt March was this incredible symbol of connecting with the very earth of his country. The point is, this idea has been with us for a long, long time. So you can see it's about more than just tough feet. And that's where things get really interesting, because this physical connection, it builds right into the spiritual world. Suddenly, taking off your shoes isn't just about comfort. It becomes this act loaded with profound meaning. Think about one of the most famous stories out there, Moses at the burning bush. When God says, take off your sandals, it's not just about, not tracking dirt into a holy place. It's way more profound than that. It's a command to remove the barrier between yourself and the sacred, to connect directly and humbly with a divine reality. And that's the key, right? To be unshod becomes this incredible symbol. It represents shedding your own ego, your defenses, your pride. It's about making yourself vulnerable, open, and ready to truly feel that holy ground, not just in your soul, but with your entire body. So this brings us back to Jesus. What about him and his followers? Well, when he sent his apostles out, the instruction he gave was actually pretty subtle. He told them, do not get new sandals. See the difference? It wasn't go completely barefoot. It was a lesson in faith. The message was, rely on what you already have, trust in God, don't get weighed down acquiring extra stuff. So they almost certainly wore the simple sandals they already owned. And this spiritual idea was so potent, it echoed for centuries. You ended up with entire religious orders like the Discalced Carmelites. And discalced, it literally means unshod. They chose to wear simple sandals instead of shoes as a powerful, everyday symbol of their commitment to poverty, humility, and total reliance on God. It was a way to live out that original message. Okay, so connecting to holy ground is a beautiful spiritual concept. But what if it's not just a metaphor? What if there's something real, something physical and measurable happening when we do this? Well, get ready for a big pivot, because we're jumping from theology to biophysics. Scientists today are studying this exact thing, and they call it grounding. So here's the basic idea, and it's pretty wild. The surface of the Earth has this massive, natural, negative electrical charge. It's basically a giant reservoir of free electrons. The problem is, our modern life, think rubber-soled shoes, insulated homes, has completely cut us off from this source. Grounding is the simple idea that when you make direct contact, your body can absorb these electrons, and they seem to act like a massive dose of antioxidants, helping to calm down the inflammation that's linked to so many health problems. And this isn't just a theory, we're talking about real, measurable effects. Check this out. This chart shows what happens to your blood after just 2 hours of grounding. The electrical charge on your red blood cells, it shoots up by almost 3 times. Now, why should you care? Well, when the cells have a stronger charge, they repel each other, kind of like magnets. They stop clumping up. That means your blood gets less thick, less viscous, and flows more easily. That is a huge deal for your heart and your entire circulatory system. And the reported benefits don't stop there. Beyond just improving blood flow, a growing body of research suggests a whole cascade of positive effects. We're talking about things like reduced inflammation across the board, people reporting better sleep, and even getting your main stress hormone, cortisol, back into a more natural rhythm. Less pain, improved mood. It's a pretty compelling list. Okay, that's the electrical side of things. But what about the nuts and bolts? What does this all mean for our actual feet, our posture, our skeleton? And of course, we have to ask the practical question, what are the real-world risks we need to think about today? Well, from a purely physical standpoint, walking barefoot is basically like sending your feet to the gym. All those tiny muscles and ligaments that have been sleeping inside your shoes, they wake up and get to work. You can develop stronger arches, better balance, and a more natural posture. For runners, it can be a total game changer, often encouraging a forefoot strike that acts as a natural shock absorber, reducing all that jarring impact on your knees and hips. But we have to be realistic here. We're not strolling through ancient Athens anymore. Our modern world can be, well, pretty grimy. And doctors are quick to point out, and they're absolutely right, that walking barefoot on unclean city streets or in public places comes with a very real risk. You can pick up some nasty stuff, bacteria, fungus, you name it. So what's the answer then? The key here is all about balance. This is not an all or nothing thing. You don't have to throw out all your shoes to get some of these benefits. The good news is, there are some really simple, common sense ways to bring this ancient practice back into our modern lives. The best advice is to start slow. Seriously, just start by walking around your house barefoot more often. Let your feet get used to the different textures. Then, find a safe spot outside, your backyard, a clean grassy park, a sandy beach. Start with just 10, maybe 20 minutes a day. That's it. Let your feet adapt, let the skin toughen up a bit. You're trying to reawaken your senses, not shock the system. So when you pull it all together, you're left with this really powerful thought. From Moses standing on holy ground to modern scientists measuring blood cells, there's this one consistent thread. A profound connection exists between our bodies and the earth. Our shoes were invented to protect us, and that's great. But you have to wonder, in our super modern insulated world, what if they're also disconnecting us from something fundamental? Maybe one of the biggest secrets to our health and well-being has been right here, literally under our feet, this whole time.